What's up, everybody? We're back with this semifinal matchup here in the Ultimate Series Solstice. We've got Thrive/Tromso Getter on the Hellborn side up 1-0 as they basically moon queened the other team in the previous game. Said, look, it doesn't really matter. Like, the rest of our team is doing all right, it's not doing that great. We just picked Moon Queen, and you didn't punish her like mad, so she got 550 gold per minute and won the game for us. Because that's what Moon Queen does, let's be honest. Don't nerf her S2, I love Moon Queen, please. Please, let me have it. And like I said in the end of last game, what a surprise, Tom Kiss has banned out the Moon Queen. It's either got to ban it or first pick it, and they banned it. Parasite and MQ, the bans here from Legion's side, Tempest and Ophelia from Hellborn. So once again, Juggler's getting banned out. Keeper is the first pick here from We Fight for Tupac, so we'll see if that actually turns into a Jungle Keeper or a Laning Keeper. We still see Laning Keeper quite often, but Jungle Keeper is getting more popular. I think it is definitely a viable jungler if you go the Entmoot build. It does make it a little harder for you to gank, but it means that you actually farm at a decent rate instead of 210 gold per minute, which isn't really where you want to be at 8 minutes in with a total free farm jungler. So we'll see what Keeper's role here is, but just never a bad pick. Obviously a strong pusher, a good tank, and a very, very excellent team fighter. Fits pretty much any lineup, has that suicide or jungle capacity. We've seen him this short lane a couple of times, not a fan, but I guess you could do that. Hey, why not? So we'll see what Keeper does here. Certainly does not give too much away for the Legion's lineup. Neither does the Engineer on Hellborn. First picking that hero. Still a very powerful support. I think he is just behind Rhapsody and maybe Empath. It depends really on who's playing the Empath. To be honest, overrated on that Empath last game. Had some really bad walls, I think, is a good place to say. Is a good way to say it. Not that I'm like the Empath guru here. I'm not support. But I play a good Empath, and I think she's one of my better heroes, and I've had some pretty awesome walls in my time. Not consistently necessarily, not like every single wall I throw up is amazing, but it seemed like there were multiple instances in that game where I'm like, yeah, it's just not feeling it. So we'll see what happens this game with that player and potentially that hero. Perhaps a little redemption coming out on a different hero, perhaps even some redemption coming out on an Empath, but obviously plenty of options left open, as the Master of Arms also does not show too much about what this Legion side is looking to do. Could be a carry, could be a support, so you could run him in any of the three lanes and in either of the primary roles. So nothing really given up here by this Legion side. At this point, they could have a Suicide Keeper or a Jungle Keeper, they can have support or farming Master of Arms. There's not much that we know about it. And always, that's a good sign of a draft, is when you pick strong heroes that work well together and don't let your team know the other team know what you're doing. Catch them off guard and give yourself an advantage that way. Always taking somebody by surprise gives you an advantage. Of course, sometimes you sacrifice the taking a better lane. Okay, that's interesting. Sometimes you sacrifice getting an actually good lane to take your opponent by surprise, and that's less good. In that situation, what you're giving up is not as valuable as what you're getting, but it's still valuable to get the surprise. Regardless, Pesty is the second pick by the Hellborn side. Angie, Pesty probably going to be seen in that middle lane. Those are two very powerful heroes together. Strong kill lane, of course, the Pesty or the Angie can initiate. I prefer if the Pesty does it. Allows the Angie to set up a nice keg stun and a turret. Regardless, there is 2 stuns and a slow and plenty of right-click auto attacks there between the two of them. Very powerful hero combination, no matter what. The Elephant is picked up on Legion's side. So that's going to be their jungler, looking like a Suicide Keeper here, and I assume that's going to be the case at least. I hate Cthulhufen. I legitimately do. I don't think he's a good hero. I don't think he has a place in the competitive scene, and I hate this pick. Not just because of the fact that I hate Cthulhufen, but I think if you're going to pick a Cthulhufen, his whole thing is he's a giant tank mess, and he's got a stun. I don't like Cthulhufen and Keeper. I don't think that's a strong combination. I think Keeper doesn't bring that much damage. Mostly what he brings is lockdown. A support Master of Arms won't bring much damage either here. And Cthulhufen basically does nothing. That ultimate will do a fair bit if you can chase people down with it. The issue is it's so short you can't auto-attack and attack people unless you get a bunch of hero kills beforehand and activate that slow, which is a terrible, terrible, terrible slow. Because nobody's taking CS in the middle of a team fight, and it only works as a snowballer, so you get a kill early on, and then you can chase and chase and chase more often. The problem is, Cthulhufen doesn't do enough damage to get a lot of kills in team fights, so what ends up happening is either the team has to do a ton of damage and be extremely vulnerable because there aren't that many heroes that do a lot of damage and eat a lot of damage, so that's risky if you're going to do that, or Cthulhufen basically does nothing. And more often than not, I think Cthulhu basically does nothing. He is run in the jungle sometimes, and you could do that. He is one of those lesser seen junglers, but I hate that hero. I don't think he has a place in the competitive scene. I think he needs a serious rework or a buff to a lot of stuff before he's viable. I mean, the charge just isn't very good. The shield is solid as a farming mechanism, I guess, but it costs a fair bit of mana, and he's not exactly a mana-intense hero. I don't know if it actually shows mana. 75 mana. Yeah, for him, that's a lot of mana. That's almost as much mana as his trample. Like, that should not be the case. The Hook'em needs to have a much, much lower mana cost. And it probably needs to be on a shorter cooldown as well, considering it's really easy to get that shield destroyed before he has it back up. And it only works for front damage. So if you're running away from the opponent, then like it doesn't do anything. Really, it only works if you're creeping or if you're man fighting. And that's not good enough, really, in my opinion. Armadon can be... Okay. I hate this draft, I really do. Grinnik's going to be the third pick over here. Into the bans. I like Grinnik's, obviously. Very strong pickup, very strong in a combination with the Pestilence here, and a very strong Suicide hero, so I like that pick. I like the Slither in the short lane, so Pesty and NG in the mid. So in the short lane, Grinnik Suicide, probably going to be a babysit here for Slither as well. So Hellborn lane's predictable, but very strong. This is going to be a strong mid-game team. They're going to be doing a lot of damage. They have enough late game to contend, especially considering that the Legion side does not have that much late game. They're getting a little better with the Solstice pickup, but bans are out. Corrupted Disciple, Warbeast, and Wretched Hag taken up on the Legion side, so removing a couple of short laners and technically a couple of Suicides. Sandwraith and really, yes, because those were two rules that, or one rule, I guess, that Hellborn hadn't fit. I don't know why you'd take out Warbeast, I guess, to the jungle potential, but whatever. Zephyr going to be picked up, so this is actually going to be a support Slither, and they're going to bring the semi-carry, or carry mid-pesty? Yeah, it's going to be mid-pesty Zephyr short. That's fine. Hellborn bans are Sandwraith, Rally, and Pharaoh, so short laners and a couple of Suicides makes sense, as Legion had not filled those roles yet. Let's talk about the Legion's last two picks and then the Hellborn's last two picks, while I completely destroy the Legion's drafting decisions. Armadon and Soulstealer. Okay, Armadon does a lot of sustained damage throughout a team fight, and he's really good at chasing people down and being annoying as all hell and difficult to kill. That is really valuable. It's not as valuable with a Keeper, because the whole point of a Keeper of the Forest is to lock people down so you can put out a lot of right-click damage or magical burst damage very quickly without having to be concerned that heroes are going to move around and mess up the perfect Bat Blast that you lined up, or the perfect Demon Hands, or the perfect Soul Burst. So Keeper and Soulstealer would work very well together. Keeper and Armadon are not going to work so well together, because the whole thing about Armadon is he's like, okay, I'm going to lock these people down with the Snot, they can't run away from me, I'm going to gradually tick them down with my Spines, and because I don't get that much auto attack damage really, I do a lot of it with my Spines, and I'm just a tank, so I'm hard to kill. Now, being hard to kill is not very helpful when the other team is rooted, because they're not attacking you, and doing tick damage over time is actually on bot. Looks like Master's going to get dropped here really easily, as that's a massive Bloodlust kill here for the Hellborn side. Regardless, Armadon in his bottom lane with Master of Rhymes, going to be solo mid Soulstealer and solo top Keeper, so that line is fine. Soulstealer middle is going to get destroyed, because whether this is a Zephyr mid or a Pesty mid, and I think I prefer the Pesty mid, Zephyr in the short lane, and I think that's what we'll see. Zephyr and Slither in the top lane, Pesty and Engineer in the mid lane, and both of those lanes are extremely strong. They not only have kill potential, but there's a lot of harass coming out from Slither, as he's one of the better zoning supports. So Armadon and Master of Arms are going to be bot lane, and this is actually a really solid combo. I've run this a lot because I have a friend that basically plays nothing but Armadon, and so sometimes we run the Master Armor combo. The Snot into the charge shot and the goo means massive negative armor, so the Spines do a ton of damage, and the charge shot obviously a little bit more lockdown, so there's a lot of kill potential in this bottom lane, and it's very strong in the laning phase. It gets a little weaker as it goes on, although it remains relatively strong. Really, the Master's Armor helping Armadon a lot, making him even tankier, and being a pretty big deal. So this isn't really a bad combination on itself. I think it's the rest of the Legion team that just does not fit together. Armadon and Keeper of the Forest don't really fit together. Cthulhu doesn't fit with anything. Soulstealer and Keeper fit together. Moa and Arma fit together, so you have a couple of combinations here that fit alright. It's not going out there and the charge shot on the Grinix, but the thing you have to consider here is Grinix is not going to die because of Riftstock. One thing that a lot of people don't know is if you actually look at how the Spines move, they will show you if they hit something. the animation actually changes if they contact something. So you can chase down invisible targets or fog targets that you can't see and continue spying them based on how your quills appear when you shoot them out. It's a specific animation that shows up when it makes contact. So as long as you chase in the direction of where it's hitting something, you can continue spying things, and there have definitely been kills that myself and my friends have gotten as a result of that. Regardless, Reverse Stock obviously gives you a little bit extra move speed, and so we're going to actually be fine in this bottom lane. Soul Stealer is not going to be fine in this middle lane. No stun, no slow, no getaway. If he gets caught, and he probably will at some point thanks to Pestilence's flight, then he will die. He will also not be able to get a kill, and his farm is going to be massively impeded because of the dual lane that he's up against. That is very bad for Soul Stealer. Soul Stealer needs a good start. He needs to have a strong amount of souls built up early on so that he can go right-click everything to death, because his Demon Hands do a fair bit of damage, but again, no stun, no slow. I guess except for the ultimate, but that's not really a reliable one. So this Solomon Soul Stealer would be, it's fine, but this is like a pub thing. You see this in TMMs when everybody runs solo mids. So if this is a solo Soul Stealer versus Pesty, great, that's fine. If this is a solo Pesty versus, or Soul Stealer versus anything, as Illusion Rune of Talking guarded by Stealer, so Soul Stealer cannot have it. Anyway, solo Soul Stealer versus anything is great. It's a great matchup because he has such hard right-click damage. He is a strong harasser. Meanwhile, off the side, Engineer going to look for a pick on SS, and he's in a little bit of trouble here. Not that much. Kegstone will connect, actually. Are they going to dive this? No. Yeah, you probably shouldn't. Off the side, Cthulhu looking for a jump here is level 3. So he's at 200 gold per minute. Now you might think, oh, he's at 200 gold per minute just under 3 minutes into this game. That's actually pretty good. And for 3 minutes, it is pretty good. It's not going to get better. I think he pretty much caps at like 250. This is just a hero that does not jungle well. Up top, actually, Keeper going to drop as he's just super, what the, wait a minute, what the hell happened here? Plenty of health. Gonna eat a bunch of Zephyr damage, I guess? He's only level 2 compared to Zephyr's level 4. Yep, there's the Gust, and just a little too much Tornado damage, so easy kill there for Zeph. Sorry, I went back further than I normally do, but that was a really, really strange situation. So Keeper going to die up top. No surprise he's not doing well against this Zephyr. It's pretty hard to lane against Zephyr as a melee hero with all those tornadoes. And Zephyr getting a bunch of CS in this tower as it is disarmed thanks to the Keeper port. So Zephyr now level 5, Keeper level 3. In middle, it looks like, so there's like, I don't need to be up there with Zephyr anymore. He's totally fine in his lane. Gonna try to get the jump onto Soul Stealer once again, and he's basically getting totally destroyed. 164 GPM. Pesty is sitting at 313. So I guess who's winning mid? 240 gold per minute on Cthulhu. And like I said, I would be really surprised if he gets over 250. I think it's probably going to take a kill. It's like, look how slow this is. Another attack, and it finally dies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 auto attacks, and that's an easy camp. It's like 6 or 7 per thing. It takes him, as that for ultimate going now, tree puts the ultimate, or the veil, but not going to matter as he has the Gust to push him away from the trees, and another easy kill there for Zeph. So things not looking good here for this Legion team, and I don't care because they picked a stupid draft. I don't really have a dog in any of these games. I mean, like SG is my favorite team, but Solstice can be jumped here, and now he's pretty well screwed. Pesty is strong enough now to die the tower. One more auto attack should be enough. Taking the bottles up, we'll stun go out once again, and one more health pot. Oh my god, taking so much. Cthulhu landing the charge. That was amazing. Took now 2 health pots and a bunch of bottle charges, but they did it. Turret wasn't the greatest there. I think that probably helped it out a little bit, but that's a surprising kill, as I guess Pesty and Engineer are just like, we want to shut down the Soul Stealer, we're going to get a little too aggressive, and perhaps going to play more conservative now, but that's sort of like where the Hellborn feel they're at, I think, at this point. Looking for the Poison Spray. Kegstone will miss, but should be allowing the Poison Spray. Actually dodged! And the turret completely misses as well. Soul Stealer just with the sidestep king. He doesn't even have boots. That was really impressive. Well done, SS. Balking pushing a little bit. Keeper only level 4. realizing he cannot stay top any longer, but of course it's going to cut into the levels of Armadon and Master, and these are really two heroes that like lots of levels. Meanwhile, Zephyr already taking this top tower, continuing to push pretty hard up here, as he can just destroy the creep waves and let the creeps take the tower. So even though he doesn't do a lot of building damage himself, the fact that the creeps just keep pounding on that tower pretty much unimpeded means that it's really difficult for the defense to happen. Looking for the jump here on Creeper. There's a Rift Stalk open, and they do get the tower kill. Dust goes off onto him as well. JNIK's gonna do Shadow Step. I don't know why he doesn't just kill this Keeper. He is invis, I guess. That's probably why. It's a pretty good reason. Armadon perhaps now in some trouble. Keg gonna completely whiff. Turret goes out, slow him down quite a bit. And then despite the doing damage to his back, that's still a death. Shadow Step back in. Now Master Roams looks like he's in trouble. Probably isn't so much because JNIK is out of mana. Actually, Pesty coming in off to the side looking for something. We'll find the Impale onto 2, in fact. Kegstone also hitting, and now Master's definitely going to fall. A couple more auto attacks, and then they've got him. So 2 kills down there. Meanwhile, off to the side. So they're actually getting the Poison Spray onto Keeper. It is not invis for some reason. Enough auto attacks here to really kill him. Easy kill, actually, as Pesty uses the Impale to finish it off. Armadon porting back in here. Perhaps going to look for a kill on Soldier, but probably won't find it. So they're just a little too fast for those boots. And Armadon has his own boots, but not all that fast quite yet. Pesty pushing middle in. And I've basically been shitting on the Legion's draft and sort of their lanes as well for this entire game. So I'm really happy that they're up by 3k gold and 2k experience. Not because I want them to win, just because I don't want to look stupid. Charge there onto Zephyr, but he's probably just going to drop the ultimate, gust them away, and be like, alright. Nope, getting locked down here pretty effectively. Takes all the tornadoes, looking for a gust. Does successfully get one off. Pops in a mana, and he's just going to run away with the Ghost Marchers. Wow. Looking for the stun there is Cthulhu. Won't happen. On the side, Engineer off to the side looking for a flank onto the Soul Stealer. Eating a tree. Will hit him once. Bug's obviously there to prevent him from doing much of anything. Turret going off. Keg will hit him, and this is going to be a death on Soul Stealer. Meanwhile, up top, we've got a pick off onto Keeper, who gets eaten by Poison Spray right in his face. Gust off, and there's a couple auto attacks. Meanwhile, SS dropping here thanks to the last auto attack from Engie, who's going to take a lot of goo damage here, but Pesty going to try to do something about it. Has Impale if he switches. No, so close. Keg's going to push Armadon a little bit away, and we'll be able to bottle up and stop Armadon from doing anything. Cthulhu in the meantime, nice dodge there from Engie. And he will live. Armadon now running away. So we're going to the relatively tanky team here. This Pesty just counters everything. Cthulhu's relatively tanky, that is one good thing about him. Armadon is extremely tanky, so is Keeper, and the invis is nice from him, but Pesty bugs. And all of a sudden you don't have any armor, and you're not tanky anymore, and you're not invisible because we can see you. So, I mean, like, this Pesty hard counters this team so badly. He's highly mobile. They don't really have any stuns either. They're mostly about slowing. They've got the one from Cthulhu, and you know, Cthulhu also has a slow, but then there's a slow from Armadon that does a lot. That's a lot of their lockdown. Keeper only has the root, so they only have really one or two, I guess, reliable stuns. One from Master, one from Elephant. That will be up consistently. Then again, I'm not sure that Elephant stun is a reliable stun because it's not easy to hit, as you saw up there. Engie dodging it relatively easily. Because you tend to start it from so far away that it just does not do too much. It's too easy to sidestep. Look at the GPM charts here. 544 gold per minute on Zephyr. So yeah, there's that. 346 on Pesty, 298 on that Suicide JNIK. Suicide JNIK is outfarming everybody on the Legion team. Like, Engie is outfarming the Soul Stealer at this point. On bot, once again, Keeper going down, as I'm not even watching this. Shadow Step there, and JNIK is solo killing a Keeper because he's level 9 and Keeper's level 5. Just, I mean, this is over, I think, for Legion. I guess they have the late game, but it's not like Hellborn have 0 late game. Zephyr and Pesty will both scale sort of well, so does JNIK for that matter. They have a couple of semi-carries. At least. Maybe 3. And that's about 1.5 carries. Legion side perhaps has a Lombor late game. Soul Stealer, Armadon, and Elephant plus tree will probably get them better. Like if you 6-slotted every single one of these, actually if you 6-slotted every single one of these heroes, then Hellborn would win because Engie and Slither actually do a fair bit amount of damage. But if you 6-slotted all the farmers here, or the top 3 or whatever you want to do it to make it fair, I think Legion might win, just because that Soul Stealer is easily the hardest carry in this game. Renix off to the side, gonna get dusted. Just beautiful charge. Beautiful charge. Ultimate from Grenix, they're gonna kill the Master, and now he's gonna run away from the Elephant. So he got dusted, charge shot, and the thing with the Cthulhu stun is it takes you so far away, and it actually takes like a second and a half to go through. So it's not like Magma Stun, where at least if you miss, you know, it's over quickly, and really you can just target because it's basically instant. It's just such a terrible stun. It really is. Like, I remember when this was Emperor's Favorite here. Meanwhile, jump going to be happening here on Soul Stealer. He has the bugs on him. Going to be an easy kill. Just a couple attacks. Please don't finish this port. Armadon, why? Bugs there, and a tornado, and the energy field, and you're dead. Yeah, Cthulhu, you might want to run away from that. Off to the side. Actually, Hasted Pestilence, looking for a jump. Gets the charge away. Still takes the stun, in fact, but gets the charge away. Hasted Pesty, perhaps still looking for initiation. Brings Rift stalking in, and they're not going to find anybody as the Legion side have backed the hell on out of there. Keeper on bot pushing this in once again is level 6, 169 gold per minute. Actually, they do get a kill on a Master somehow. Dust. Alright, 12 minutes in, this is 13-1 in favor of Hellborn. I expected 15 minutes CC here. There's nothing they can do. And it's their own fault. Like, this isn't a situation, really, where Hellborn necessarily outplayed Legion. I do think that they did. Put in on bot, as Keeper is just going to have to run the hell away. I really do think that the Hellborn team did outplay Legion here. We fight for Tupac just not putting a great performance in. More than that, I just think their draft is shit. And, like, if you lose the game before the game starts, then you shouldn't be surprised when you have to CC at 15 minutes. Like, if you can look at your team, look at your opponent's team and being like, yeah, they're going to beat us. That's not a good thing. Solstice, they're going to get easily killed here by this bestie. No question about that. Double damage rune obviously helps, but I mean, he has a portal key. It's just too easy. Keeper running around here is level 6. Obviously doesn't want to jump in because Bestie will kill him too. 4 heroes down here for Hellborn, killing that tower. And we'll now jump through the Legion's jungle. Take out some creep waves. Probably have the opportunity to kill a secondary tower here as well. They're up 14-1 in hero kills. 15k gold, 11k experience. They don't care anymore. This game's so done. They can just train and win. I mean, the other reason too why I'm criticizing Legion so much is because I like to see good games. Like, I cast and watch a lot of these games now, and I have fun. I'll have a lot of fun doing it, but it's more fun if the games are, you know, uncertain in their outcome. Because I don't, like, these are replay casts, and I could totally be like, oh, this person wins, that person doesn't win. I try not to do that as much as possible. So for the most part, in the draft, Pesty jumping in on the 2 there. Kegsun as well hitting 2. Soulstone going to take a ton of damage. Flight activated from Pesty. Grenix taking a bunch of damage. We'll actually get rooted and should drop here. But Cthulhu going to pay for it as well. Pesty in the background going to take Soul Stealer and keep revolves in the meantime. Looks like Pesty's going to run away here. Will be just fine. Master getting boxed in. There's the energy ultimate. Off. Easy. Marmadon is the only hero left. Gets the bugs put on him. And will just run away. So that is a Hellborn tower kill once again, as they take 4 for 1, losing only Grenix in exchange for pretty much the entire Legion team. And I think they'll probably take that. 1 tower, 4 hero kills for Grenix. Probably a nice deal. So anyway, like I was saying, you know, I like these games to be in doubt. I like to not know what's going to happen next. And you could tell, like, we finished the drafting phase and look at this Legion team, and it's just like, this is an awful team. And it's not like they even did anything unexpected, like, oh, there's a secret strat here. Like, if you, like that one game where they picked a prisoner and used it to hook the creeps into the wave and then jungled with their own creeps. Or another strat where they just pulled the creeps into the jungle and used the opposing creeps to jungle the thing. Or the Warbeast and Demented Shaman strat where you use the Warbeast Wolves to jungle with D-Shaman. Like, those are, like, this is a bad thing, and CC Book comes out, and I assume it's going to go through. Those are things like where you look at the draft and you're like, I don't understand, this is a bad draft or whatever, but then you see what they do, and it's like, okay, now I get it. I understand what the strat was, and then it makes sense. So they're not just, Pesty just like sitting here waiting. Like, come on, buddy.
That felt good. Someone likes to get spanked.
Regardless, as I was saying, it's just like there wasn't even a secret strat. This was just traditional lanes. You could call them from a mile away, except for the fact that Solstice was bottom, and Solstice was mid and Armadon was bottom. I think that's basically the sensible thing to do, I guess. But you could switch those really without too much consternation, I don't think. And I don't know, it's a little disappointing because it's like I just wasted a bunch of time because you basically knew at the end of the drafting stage who was going to win this game, and it does. It's Hellborn, it's 15 minutes, so whatever, I'm going to stop talking about it. Thrive, aka Tromso Gutter here, takes out the Legion side, and We Fight for 2 o'clock, 2 games to nothing. Pretty easy series victory for them, and We Fight for 2 o'clock will be knocked out of the Ultimate Series Solstice as a result, while the team of Tromso Gutter, I believe, goes on to the finals. I think. Are these the semifinals? These are quarterfinals. Why am I saying semifinals? I think I said semifinals at some point, but these are actually the quarterfinals. So the Tromso Gutter will go on to the semifinals. I think it's because I'm used to the duel. Whatever. It's done. Goodbye.